Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we are currently ready to deploy. Last episode was a little easier than anticipated, and we can deploy yet another time this month. We did anticipate deploying another time this month, but we also anticipated a second lance. But let's hop into the command center and see what's available right now.
Always good to see you in Ops, Commander.
I'm sure it is. Okay, so this is a 7.5 skull. I feel like we should push the difficulty a little bit. Maybe as far as a 10 skull. I mean, this is the Lyran Commonwealth. They're not very happy with us, but we could boost their opinion a bit. That's an escort mission. Okay. I mean, we could do this. The last escort mission we did, there was a grand total of 5 enemy lances. It was a big one. What do we suppose the odds are that that happens again? Well, the max salvage is kind of middle of the road, and so is the max pay, as far as I'm concerned. That said, this pay is reduced because the Lyran Commonwealth doesn't like us. So this is probably a little bit tougher than this max pay would imply, is my guess. Let's take a look at the compensation. Yeah, we would have to run it straight down the middle. This is probably, in all honesty, not going to be profitable for us. But does it need to be? I mean, this month tick will dip us down below the 10 million mark that I like to sit at, for comfort's sake. So maybe instead of that, this is an urban battle. Okay. I mean, urban is fine, but we do rely quite heavily on line of sight, which is a lot harder in an urban environment. We don't rely entirely on line of sight, of course. 2 heavily armed lances, huh? Honestly, maybe we should run this one. What are the odds that we have 5 enemy lances again? And we could use the boost in opinion with the Lyran Commonwealth. Let's go ahead and run it. I may regret this later. Okay, so we need to drop the awesome in favor of the Fafnir. That is very important, and our Fafnir pilot is, of course, Brother. So, go on, get in there. There you go, buddy. Fantastic. We're now good to go. So we'll go ahead and deploy this. Yes, Darius thinks this will be difficult. He might be right. We might be up against another set of 5 enemy units. We'll see. Last time we had no allies other than the actual escort. I was going to say target. It's not really a target. The escort unit, the unit that we're supposed to escort, the escortees. I don't know. I'm kind of lacking words. Fantastic. The point is, they were the only allies that we had, and we didn't have them throughout the entirety of that initial blocking force. I don't think that we're going to be facing 3 units as a blocking force again. Well, 12 units, 3 lances. That was a little extreme. And then after that, it was the worst possible rolls as well, with 2 additional lances spawning. So, I doubt that it's going to be that bad. I wouldn't be surprised to see 3 lances, maybe 4. 5 would be a little surprising still. But we need to escort the convoy to safety and escape. We've received intel that the Draconis Combine is reinforcing one of their key fortifications on Camlin. If we allow them to do so, Lyran destabilization operations here will be set back by months, possibly years. We need you to intercept the supply convoy and redirect it to a waiting dropship, which will carry the supplies to our insurgent forces on the planet. As soon as Kharitan leadership realizes what we're doing, Commander, they're going to try to destroy the convoy themselves. Expect enemy reinforcements to target the vehicles. Yes, indeed. Hopefully we won't give up our bonus on this one.
Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Okay, let's go ahead and begin this.
Command interface initiated.
Cool. So the supply convoy is right where it's supposed to be. Yup. We don't have allies, as expected. However, we see a blocking force, but we don't see 2 backup forces this time. Now, this approach up here is non-terrible. The main concern is getting down this slope here. I'd like to deploy right here. Unfortunately, that's not an option. This is a mineral field here, which isn't perfect, we could deploy in the mineral field and advance to this cover position. That is an option. Alternatively, we could deploy in this cover and advance down the hill, and we'd be firing down on them. Now, that's a good position to have, and I think that's what we're going to take. So we will go ahead and deploy. This should be fine. Some of these units are not in cover, though, so I'm going to try re-rolling those positions. This should all be in cover. Beautiful. However, some of them will probably be side arc, because we're deploying at a different angle. Okay. So, there is a support lance, only one, that we see here. So, we're already doing better than the last time. That's good. This is still probably going to be a 2-episode mission, I'm guessing. It kind of depends on how many additional lances spawn. I mean, if it's just these two, this would probably be 1 episode. Maybe. It depends on where they are and such like that. But I fully expect there's going to be at least 1 more lance. So, we actually do not currently have sensors on them. We're going to reserve.
Holding for tactical advantage.
There we go. Okay, so a Shadowhawk moves up, goes for our Fafnir. Gets very little done. It does tag the Fafnir.
I'm okay.
But more importantly, it updates the sensors. So, we see a Shadowhawk, we see a Ninjato, we see an Archangel, we see an Avatar, we see an Orion, and a Catapult K9. Nothing too frightening, but I can't help but notice there's 2 missing mechs here. Now, this guy moved pretty far, but only got 3 evasive. The Avatar fires on our Mauler. It does hit the Atlas with a stray shot light PPC there, or maybe just a regular PPC, actually. But yeah, this Ninjato here, that's a variant of a Marauder, I believe. That's definitely going to be a pretty high priority, but we're certainly missing a few units here. So, our Mauler moves next, and we're going to position it off over perhaps this way. Now, they did move their Avatar, and they've also moved their Shadowhawk. The Shadowhawk has 3 evasive. I'm going to move out over this way because of the evasive pip.
I read you, Commander. Moving out.
And what do we got on this Avatar? 51.3 versus 44.7, but able to fire the lasers. This will overheat us, but if we hit this Shadowhawk with the Heavy Gauss, that will do a lot of damage. We're only expecting 1 Heavy Gauss hit. Now, they could both miss, but statistically, we're expecting 1 hit here. Let's see. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. So the Shadowhawk is now unsteady. That's exactly what we wanted, and that hit square in the CT. Beautiful. Now, artillery-wise, they're not very grouped together at this moment. We'll see if they end up grouping together. Mr. Zappy, huh?
Damage is light.
Okay. So far, we're not really taking too much damage. Okay, I believe that was a unit that we didn't see. Perhaps a stealth unit of some sort.
Aye, aye.
The Annihilator is going to move up over this way. Now, the Annihilator could fire on the Shadowhawk. It could fire on the Ninjato. Or the Avatar. I think the Shadowhawk is probably our best bet. Let's see. He's on unstable ground, isn't he? Yes, I'm pretty sure he's on this unstable terrain. So this would very likely knock him down. We're almost certainly going to want to fire Cluster here. We could get a kill on the Shadowhawk in theory.
Firing on target.
But let's see what happens. Structure exposure, not quite a knockdown there, but very close. Okay, so that Orion moves in, is going to fire its Gauss. It does miss its Gauss.
Reporting minimal damage.
So that's good. The Archangel moves up, fires on the Fafnir. That's a lot of PPC sounds, and they all miss. I see. So he's got a heavy PPC, 2 light PPCs, and a snub nose. Got it. Okay, so next up is going to be our Madcap Mark II, which is going to position out over here.
Affirmative.
The Madcap Mark II could either go for the kill on the Shadowhawk, or attempt to build up instability on the Marauder over here. Hit odds are literally identical. We're going to Warlord, and we're going to strip armor off of this Ninjato. Which technically isn't a variant of Marauder, I think it's just reusing the art asset. Because, yeah, this is an NJT. Okay, so another Orion closes in, fires on our Fafnir. Doesn't get any damage done. Okay.
How's it
At
going?
this time, our Salamander moves up. The Salamander
Roger that.
is going to hit the newly unsteady Ninjato here. Now, do we fire AX rounds, is the question. I think that the answer is probably. Yeah, we're going to fire AX. And we'll have the tag fire first, just to be on the safe side. He's just straight up dead. Beautiful.
Enemy down.
So that mech never got a chance to fire. That is excellent. The catapult moves up, fires on the Salamander. It's running, sounds like, some sort of dual Gauss, and it misses. Nothing too threatening thus far. The Fafnir is going to position here. We're going to hit the Shadowhawk. Now, we're going to Warlord, and we're probably not worth firing in X2 mode, at least not both of them. For heat purposes. We're going to do something like this.
Let's do this.
Okay, sadly we missed all of the UAC shots there. We did get a knockdown on the Shadowhawk. So I guess that's something.
Orders.
The longbow took some internal damage there, okay. We're going to step forward, and the longbow is certainly going to look to kill the Shadowhawk, I think. I think there's no reason not to kill the Shadowhawk here. These guys are going to be targeted by artillery, probably this Avatar. So I think this is pretty free.
All weapons. Go.
Sadly, we didn't get the crits I was hoping for.
Take that.
That was mostly armor damage there.
Commander?
But the Bull Shark is going to step up.
Roger that.
And we actually do see a Rakshasa over here. So there is a stealth unit, and there was that second Orion that wasn't on sensors. But we're going to fire on the Avatar here.
Copy that.
Kaboom. A little splash damage out over here as well. That was a huge amount of instability. I like it.
Hey.
The Boar's Head is going to move up,
There. Okay.
and it's also going to fire on this Avatar. We're not going to fire in shape charge mode. We're going to fire in high explosive mode. We could Warlord. It doesn't really hurt. This will be a guaranteed knockdown on the Avatar.
There we go.
Not a great sniper artillery shot, but it did hit all 3 of these. And as I said, a knockdown on the Avatar. Cool. So we now know there's a Rakshasa out over here.
Waiting for
The Salamander is... Do we want to break cover here? We could. Break cover up to here.
no shooting, just running.
Now we are ECM jammed currently by this Shadowhawk. Do we want to Vigilance the Salamander? It's not in cover. I think so. Plus or minus 12 in it? Or plus negative 12 in it? I don't know. Regardless, we're going to hit this Shadowhawk, and we're going to fire Improved. This is a guaranteed kill. I'm not even going to fire the LRM-20 or the second MRM-40. I'm sufficiently confident in this kill.
Firing.
There we go.
One less.
So we'll sink that heat and save some ammo. The Avatar gets up. I was hoping that it would be down a little longer, but it has lost an awful lot of armor. And then it backs off up over that way and sensor locks our Salamander. Okay. So we lose an evasion there, but we are braced, so losing the cover isn't a big deal. Now the question is, when is this Rakshasa going to close in? That Orion closes in on the Salamander and gets some pretty solid damage in there. But we do have a damage reduction,
Now that was a heavy hit.
so that's solid.
I hear ya.
Our Mauler is running pretty hot right now. We're probably only going to want to fire the Gauss. Let's see here. This is 30%. That's not great. This out here is 14, which is also non-great. We are able to fire our ER mediums. This would sink heat as is. That said, I believe we have refire. Yes. Refire penalties are engaged there. We'll go ahead and see what happens here. We're mostly interested in dropping a little heat. So yeah, we did manage to hit him with one. That's fine.
Standing by.
The Mad Cat Mark II is going to move up. I don't want to break cover with it just yet because of our resolve levels. We can fire on the Orion. On the Avatar might not be a bad call. 18.8. Oh, okay. These are very low hit odds pretty much across the board. The question is it even worth firing on these hit odds? Yeah, we're firing blind and obstructed. I think we're just going to brace the Mad Cat. I don't think it's worth firing at this time.
Hey there.
Now, the Fafnir has a built-in damage reduction into its armor. So the Fafnir, I'm comfortable sprinting up.
Full throttle.
And we're able to fire on the Archangel with 20% hit odds. Or on the Orion without firing the UAC. We're out of range of the UAC there. So I think we fire on the Archangel, perhaps in X1 mode. And just see what we get.
Giving them everything I've got.
Not a whole lot is the answer, but we didn't expect a whole lot. Okay. So they're going to fire on the Mauler, which is in cover. That's fine for now. Okay. And the Archangel moves up a little bit. That's interesting. So the Annihilator is going to step forward here, remaining in cover. We could fire on that Archangel. Decent hit odds there, actually. And that's probably going to be our best bet, if it's not this Avatar. The Avatar is okay, but I think we're still going to be targeting artillery back here. So I think we go for the Archangel here. We're still firing in cluster mode, and that's correct. We get a structure exposure. PPC capacitor taken out there.
That's gonna hurt.
That's nice. So yeah, that's right in that torso. Okay, that's that Rakshasa. Not getting a whole lot done there, if I'm honest. It does start a fire out over here. That's something to be noted. But let's see if it moves in. It does. We know that it did because it's now counter-jamming protecting the Orion there. So they fire on the Fafnir. The Fafnir has that built-in damage reduction, so it only takes 64 damage. Next up is going to be our Bullshark. Our Bullshark steps forward. Of course, we can see the Rakshasa, and we see that it's right next to the Archangel. I am tempted to drop a Long Tom on this Archangel. Do it. That's a torso destruction, and the pilot's down to 1 health.
Scored a critical hit.
And he's unsteady. He already moved, so that's great. We know the Rakshasa's right here. And that's the reason we're dropping artillery over there. They managed to hit another Gauss on the Salamander, but we do have that 20% damage reduction helping us out.
Standing by.
The longbow is going to step up. I think that firing on the Archangel at this time is not good. Slightly better hit odds on that Orion. And these guys are out beyond sensor range. 21.7 on the ELRMs. Is that the same for all of them? The catapult's a little further out. Okay, so technically our best hit odds is this Orion. We're going to not fire the enhanced LRMs due to heat, and due to the fact that they aren't very useful right now. We could fire Artemis 4, and Artemis 4 is slightly better here, but I think we're going to stick with standard because the hit odds are quite low. Okay, there we go.
I'm here.
Next up is the Boar's Head. The Boar's Head is going to also hit this Archangel. Are we going to fire in direct fire mode? Probably. Not fire the Clan LRM 20 due to heat.
This might hurt.
Okay, So that's a knockdown on that Archangel, and that should have done quite a lot of damage to the Rakshasa as well. So that guy's actually straight up gone. The Archangel is no longer here. We've eliminated 3/4 of one of their lances. The Salamander is going to move up, and we see the Rakshasa now. Hit odds here are not great. Primarily due to his 4 evasive pips. Okay. What are our hit odds out on this Orion? Basically double. Well, not quite double, but a lot higher. I think we're better off firing on the Orion. And we are better off firing AX here. So let's strip some armor off of this Orion. Nice. Next up, phase 17. The Avatar moves up. Goes for the Salamander. We are in cover, but we do take an AC-20 hit to the arm there. That's getting pretty low in the armor, probably, at this point, with that 80 damage going in there. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, Commander.
The Annihilator is going to step up.
Moving out.
I would love to hit the Rakshasa. That's not great hit odds. It's better on the Orion. Actually, it's even better on the Avatar. With the exception of the LBX, but I think that's what we have to go for here. We have to go for the Avatar. If we're lucky, we might get some ammo explosions or something. We'll see.
Taking the shot.
Structure exposure there, not much internal damage. They have 3 phase 15 movers. Their Orion backs off a little bit, goes for the Salamander. Continues to hit it with the PPC. This is expected. This is why we've moved to cover.
What can I do for
We've got our Mauler. We've got our Longbow.
I hear you.
Okay, so the Mauler can step forward over here.
Right, Commander.
4.3 on the Rakshasa. Our best hit odds are on the Avatar. They're not great, in all honesty. So maybe we should wait this round and get rid of that refire penalty. And just brace, since we're out of cover. That's what we'll do for the moment. Who else are they going to move in phase 15? The Rakshasa is one of their movers. They also probably move the Catapult in phase 15. We don't technically know that for a fact. Okay. Putting some plasma in there. Trying to get the Longbow overheated. That's absolutely fine. What else are they going to do? That was, of course, the Rakshasa there. And now our Longbow is going to step up. Now, they overheated the Boar's Head there. 48% is probably the best we're going to see. Unless it's much better on this Orion. Given these hit odds, they're identical. We'd rather hit the Avatar here because we can crit fish. So let's see what we get. No crits. Okay, sad. So now they're going to move the K9. It's got those gouts. Fires on the Longbow. Hits both of them, but we have the 20% damage reduction our armor's holding for now. So next up is our Madcat Mark II, which is going to close in over this way. We could fire on the Avatar. Good hit odds there. Better hit odds on the Orion. Okay. We'll hit the Orion. And that's a dead Orion. Beautiful. The Orion hadn't moved yet this round either. So that's fantastic. They've got 4 units left. Our Fafnir is going to close in over here. We could fire on the Rakshasa 11.3%. Or we could crit fish in the Avatar with the MRM-20. That's going to be our best bet for the moment. We did get a couple of LBX AC-20 crits there, but nothing as big as I was hoping for. Yeah, that's not great. Okay, so the Bull Shark is going to move up.
Move order confirmed.
What target is the best here? They're fairly spread out. Honestly, I think we have to hit the Avatar again. In artillery mode, or we could fire direct fire. No, we can't. Out of range, I think. So we're going to fire on the Avatar here. We could get a lot of damage done. And actually, the Avatar is dead. Beautiful.
Mech destroyed.
Okay, so we've got the catapult, the Orion, and the Rakshasa to deal with. So, at this point, the Boar's Head is probably not going to move at all. We need to hit this Rakshasa. Our heat is a concern. A pretty major concern. So I think we'll not fire the Arrow 4 this round, and we'll just pot shot the Sniper Artillery here, direct fire. And we did miss it.
Let's hit him hard.
But that's fine. The Salamander is going to close in over this way. Now, this is out of cover. Are we better off being here? Or here? We're really better off being up here. In fact, I'm going to sprint even closer.
Let's move.
So we'll position here. The Rakshasa's a little bit out of vision, but we're going to Warlord. We are also going to Vigilance the Salamander here. And we're going to hit this Rakshasa. Are we better off firing improved rounds? I would argue no, we are not. We did not successfully tag it. But we got some good armor strip in there. Cool.
I am out of short-range missiles.
Well, you're out of AX rounds.
Receiving you.
The Madcat Mark II is going to move up.
Copy that.
We're probably best off hitting... Well, not the Rakshasa, actually. 38%. The catapult is our best target here. So we'll Warlord that and do what we can to it.
Whatever you say, boss.
Okay, good damage there. We'll see what the Orion does. It moves up and Gausses our Madcat Mark II, but it misses. It does get a PPC into the leg, but that's not a big deal. Cool.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Our Mauler is going to close in.
No sweat.
And from here, we have a 23%, 23%, 35%. Okay. Well, we'll Warlord boost that up to 38. We're probably going to miss both shots on this Orion.
Sweat.
And we do. A little sad, for sure.
Get you next.
But we need to get closed in. It is, however, about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode we'll finish this. This was always likely going to be a 2-video mission, at least. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.